what we're seeing now with financial planning, it's not just, I'm going to make you loads of money, I'm going to sit down with you. It's very much being intertwined now with this kind of life coaching and well-being and goal setting. And these are the things that we're starting to see now. And do you feel that way? Do you feel that that's the thing that's happening, and that's how the role's now being defined, as this kind of wealth is health, health is wealth, intertwined too? It's a well-being proposition, as just opposed to I'm going to make you a load of cash.
But what it comes down to, and I'm so glad you said it actually, Sam, because I completely agree with you. What it comes down to, behavioral coaching is you've got to completely reinvent that first meeting when you try and find out what's important to someone. And like, I've read books, even like highly rated books, and they're trying to point you towards good questions. And one of the good questions is, like, what are your goals? I think that's a terrible question. Like, I couldn't answer that question.
Yeah.
Like, not with anything like meaningful that we're going to be able to work from. Actually, before you even talk about goals, you need to understand, and there's different words for this, like, let's call it purpose or values or core values. Like, you need to have that as a start point. And the goals, there's a US advisor called Natalie Taylor, and I love the way she describes it, and I think she's right on. She says the goals you have to hold with an open hand, because your circumstances change. So I use a tool that was developed from SEI actually on goals, and it comes from that idea that if you ask someone what are their goals, like, that's just a terrifying conversation. No one can put that on a piece of paper. So what they do is they had a game board that's got 4 boxes. So what have you got to do right now? What have you got to do in the future? What do you want to do right now? What do you want to do in the future? But then they got prompts for all the different areas in your life. So what about you and your other half? Do you need to spend more time together? Do you need to, do you share enough about personal finances? There's a guy in the States called Ed Coombs who does amazing work linking your attachment style from birth. He's using therapy in this. What's your attachment style, and how does that relate to your relationship with money? And how does that work into the relationship between you and your other half?
Yeah. Yeah.
So you've got things for yourselves, you've got things for your children. What does success look like for your children? And rather than being a goal, which is lower level, pay for private school, they're going to go to school X for 5 years. Like, the value might be, help my children achieve their potential. Just that's like a more open-handed set of goals, because they can shift. And then you might also have things broader, so what impact do you want to have on your community? What impact do you want, are there causes that you particularly care about? And then what you're trying to get to from that is some really good, strong success statements. And then you're into the cash flow planning. I mean, one thing, if I was a young person coming into the profession, one thing that's unbelievable to me is how cash flow planning isn't just everywhere for every client. It still feels like there's room for it to grow. And for any client who's never experienced cash flow planning, that's just a step up in terms of value, because without it, you're lacking a long-term view.